Hello, my name is Tamani Mwandani, and I am the author of the new book, Black Gold Devalued, Combating America's Covert Hostility Towards the Black Community. Before I get into why I wrote the book and giving you the primary reasons why, let me first say that although my target market for the book is black people here in this country, African Americans, melanated people, I do realize that although that is my target market, not everyone is ready, sadly, unfortunately, ready to hear what I'm about to say. And because they're not ready to hear it, they're not ready to do what I think needs to be done. And I am not of the mindset that my belief as to what we need to do as a people, I don't think it's just coming from my own head or my personal belief based on maybe a skewed perception of reality or history. My position is based on an in-depth, thorough analysis of not only our history here in this country, and again, history, not made-up events or made-up conclusions, but our history in this country as it relates to our relationship with this American government. Because certain things have happened to black people, I believe that only black people have to respond and do what we need to do because our relationship with this American government hasn't been a good one or a friendly one, if you will. So I wrote the book for reasons pertaining to what I think we must do if we're going to survive in this country and have a future worth living. And the word survive may seem a bit extreme, but I believe our survival is most certainly being threatened. So before I get into that, let me say about myself. I am from South Carolina. I graduated high school in '88, went into the Army, spent 4 years there. Before I got out, I really started to read a lot of books, and that was my first cultural and historical and spiritual awakening, the first one. Because I really learned some things that I didn't know about myself as a black man in America, about black people in this country, and our history before we got to this country. I didn't have a clue. And that's sad and unfortunate and is still happening. So that's something that we need to change as a people. So I got out of the military in 4 years, went home for about a month, then drove to Houston, Texas, and joined a church called the Shrines of the Black Madonna. Joining this church was my second spiritual, cultural, historical reawakening. It was as a member of this church that I've been a member for 20 plus years that I really understood not only the black problem in depth and what we need to do to change it, but I understood what it meant to live and exist in an environment that was just overflowing in abundant black love. Everyone knew everyone. We were all on the same page, trying to do the same thing. We owned and controlled our environment, which means the community in which we lived, and we owned 4 or 5 apartment complexes. We had our own dining hall, our own medical clinic, our own school. We had everything a community needs to survive, thrive, and grow. And this was not just in Houston, Texas, but we had communities in 4 cities at the time, now 5, and even communities in Africa at this point. So I'm saying that to say that what I am proposing in the book via this video is not a dream or an idea. It's not me saying Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma was great and we need to do it again. I'm saying it's great, we need to do it again. I know we can because I've lived in such an environment. Not quite as elaborate as Black Wall Street, but certainly one that every black person can benefit from in this country. So I wrote the book for 4 primary reasons. The first reason is really to make the point, which I think I do a fairly good job at, make the point that black lives in this country really don't matter. They really don't to the U.S. government. They never have, and I don't think they ever will. And I say that based on our history with this government in this country. If you care about someone or a people, you don't do what's been done to us over and over and over again. In the book, I make the case that black people have been subjected to over 2,000 years of physical, mental, spiritual assault, molestation, raping, degradation over and over and over again. And I say 2,000 years because it's been a compounded effect, one thing after another, and we've never had a break from the assault from this dominant white empowered government, and that is an issue. I wrote the book. The first reason is to explain that relationship between black people and the government, and why we are the way that we are as a people. The second reason I wrote the book is to say to white people, good and bad, those who may not know, and those who know but maybe they don't want to face it. I don't know. But I wrote the book for the second reason, which is to say, stop with the finger pointing and the blaming, because we didn't get here on our own. We most certainly had a lot of help from the dominant white culture, and that help is still taking place. So stop with the finger pointing and blaming, because we didn't create the situation. We most certainly don't control the situation, because white people had a major part to play in our current reality. That's the second reason. Third reason is to say to black people, it doesn't matter how we got here. It doesn't matter who did it. It doesn't matter really why they did it, because it's happening and it's now. So we need to deal with it. And we need to deal with it because no one else is going to. And quite frankly, I think it's because no one else cares. So we have a special problem that we didn't create, but we're most certainly responsible for dealing with. That's the third reason. And the fourth reason is to lay out what I believe is a solution to the problem. I don't believe there is the solution or only one solution, but I do believe what I've laid out in the book is a solution. And I want as many black people as possible to know about it so that we can get on board with making that solution possible. As a people in this country, we have done several things to change and combat our condition. But we've never done two primary things that has been left out, I believe, of every major black movement to foment change in this country. The first one is we've never really dealt with our psychology as a people, our spiritual and mental health as a people, having gone through slavery and things such as Jim Crow, the slave codes, the penal system, redlining, all these things that really have destroyed the black community and continues to do so. We've never really had psychological, spiritual, mental treatment, and that needs to be dealt with. That's the first major thing that we've never really dealt with as a group, as a people moving forward. And the second thing is that we've never really had a feasible way to defend ourselves, which is another major issue that has never been dealt with. So in the book, I lay out the situation from slavery to now as to how we got here. And I am saying that there are several things that we need to deal with, but those two are primary. Our psychology, our mental and spiritual health, because we've been actually made via slavery a non-people. And if we are to get back to the people that we can be, the people that we once were, then that's going to take some serious spiritual, psychological, and mental treatment and healing. And then, of course, we need to have the ability to defend ourselves. And those two things, amongst several others, I think is key. Black people right now in 2017, we are at the top of every bad list and the bottom of every good list. And again, we didn't get in this position on our own, but it doesn't matter because only we can deal with it. And I think the dealing with has to come in an extreme, drastic and dramatic fashion. It is my belief that black people need several nationwide physical safe havens from the dominant white culture. I think we need a place that we can go and retreat and regroup. We need a place that we can go and be safe and be protected. We need a place where we can meditate, get our minds right, our spirits right, if we will, so that we can not only address and confront the issues that we face in this country, but we can really move forward in a unified fashion as a community with a new mindset and a new spirit to deal with the evil that's confronting our community and really America's inner cities. So I am saying that there are several things that we need to do as a people, and the primary thing, the ultimate goal, is to have several physical safe havens nationwide where we can go do what we need to do for the importance and safety of black people. If you were to go to Google and you type in Chinatowns in the USA, your first three listings are going to be Wikipedia pages. You click any one of those and you will see that there is a Chinatown in every major city in this country. Why aren't there little Africas? And I know the conscious persons are going to say because they've destroyed them, and they have. But that doesn't mean that we stop fighting to ensure that we have as many little Africas as we need to have. If there are Chinatowns in every major city in this country, then we need to have little Africas as well. And having those little Africas will serve many purposes. And to do that, we need to have a different mind. But we can't have that different mind if we don't deal with our current mind of what it is, how it got to be that way, so that we can be different moving forward. So I want everyone who is listening to this video to first share it with as many people as possible, black and white, but especially black people, because I want it to go viral so that everyone can get on board with what I am talking about, because God knows I can't do it on my own. I want you to go to the website, www.blackgolddevalued.com. Take a look at the website, take a look at the verbiage, read the verbiage, download a free copy of the introduction of the book so that you can have a better understanding of where I'm coming from, why I'm coming from this direction, and what I am thinking we need to do as a people. The first step, I think we need unified black leadership across the board in multiple categories. On the website, I provide, I think, 13 different categories, different departments, but there can most certainly be 14, 15, or even 16. And if I missed a few, let me know and I'll add them. But I'm saying that we need to find those black people nationwide who are doing things for black people, nominate them for national leadership, and elect them to a national office that is facilitated, set up only to help and lead the black community. For example, Dr. Claude Anderson, who most people know as the author of, well, not author, but the creator of the Powernomics movement. He is about economic stability and growth and strength, but he knows a lot about politics and what is and is not being done to hold black people and black communities back. Dr. Claude Anderson would be an excellent nominee to head the political department for the black nation. If there is someone who understands the psychology of black people, understands what it takes to change that psychology so that we can move forward as a people, help us heal, then that person needs to be over the spiritual and psychological health department, if you will. If there is someone who's good at business, making money, generating revenue on a global level, then that person needs to be nominated and voted upon so that they can head the business development department for the black nation. And that is the first step that I lay out in the book, and that's on the website. So if you're watching this video, I want you to share it with as many people as possible. I want you to go to the website, blackgolddevalued.com. Take a look at the verbiage, download a copy of the introduction of the book, which is free. Nominate someone that you know for leadership on a national level. And on September 16th of this year, we'll have a national election online whereby we elect a new body of black leaders to lead and guide black people moving forward. We need to take care of our children. We need to protect our women. And we need to create new black communities that we own and control moving forward. And if we don't do that, then we are doing ourselves and those who have come before us a grave disservice. So I thank each and every one of you for taking the time and listening to the video. God bless you all, and hopefully we can join together and build a black nation within this nation with power so that we can have a future worth living. Thank you very much. God bless you. Goodbye.